Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking around. Doc, you mentioned Iowa and the delegate fight and people, I hope, figuratively lying on the ground and bleeding. But that wasn't really the only state. We're not the only state where, especially on the Republican side, there's been a delegate just all-out war. Donald Trump went ballistic when Colorado, who had it voted like back in March, had their county convention, and a bunch of Trump delegates were reallocated to Ted Cruz because of Ted Cruz' superior organization and presence in the state to be there for these county conventions. Why don't you fill us in what's going on?
Well, in order to, and this is from a guy who's run a disorganized campaign. If you're a disorganized campaign, you don't have a chance of winning, no matter how great your message is. And that's one of the things that has befallen.
Says the guy patting himself on the back.
I ran the king of disorganized campaigns. I feel bad for my campaign helper, so who's a hero. He served in Afghanistan and all that. Anyway, if you're unorganized, doesn't matter how great your ideas are. If you can't get people to listen and you can't get people together on the same page, you can't lead. That's all there is to it. And part of the problem with Trump is that he has run a campaign like he would run a business. I'm going to stick this person into this spot. I'm going to give the expectations I want, and then I'm going to go out and create another great idea. So what he does. The problem is people like Rubio, people like Cruz, even people like Ben Carson. You have to hire the people that can organize very well. And Trump really, as far as, he didn't win Iowa. Cruz won Iowa. Cruz won it fairly handily. And that just shows exactly how much punch this organization has. Cruz has some of the biggest radio conservative heavy hitters in his corner. And our friend, Sam Clovis, is with Trump. The problem is Trump got a long way because the Republican Party was split. It's no longer split. Kasich is not really
it's still pretty split. Trump is going to destroy New York.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think he's going to take a lot of the California delegates as well. I believe Trump will. The problem is when it comes to going into the convention, it's going to be a bunch of rabid Gauls and Ostrogoths against the Roman legions. If you know anything about history, Roman legions won not because they were better, but because they were very well organized. It's going to be the same kind of bloodbath there at the convention. When you're talking about removing such powerful people from the delegate spot and from the Central Committee in such a sweep, because there's 12 delegates plus 3 at large. You're talking about powerhouses like Cheryl Wisenan being kicked off the state Central Committee. That's a giant thing. That is huge, and Cruz was able to do that. The one delegate that that Cruz couldn't get removed is Marionette Miller Meeks, and she's extremely popular, and she's the only one still standing for Trump. That's party politics. That's very similar to remember we talked about the 3rd District Convention, what happened with Brad Zahn?
Yes.
It's the same type of thing. We've talked about it. I've warned against it. If this continues, what you're going to do is all the people that Trump has brought into the party, just like Bernie's brought people in the Democratic Party, Trump's brought people into the party, those people are going to leave. And you're talking about a third of the voters going, well, hold on, I'm not going to vote for the same old politics and same old BS with the same old ideas from the same grand old party. That's what's going to happen. The thing that happened in Colorado was perfectly legal, just like it is here. The thing that happened to Brad, perfectly legal. But just like these Panama Papers, that's probably something that shouldn't be happening. It's probably something where if you have the voters behind you, you need to listen to the voters and not take away their rights. If Cruz goes in there and gets 1,237 votes, everybody's going to link behind him, but he's not going to be able to do that. It's going to be a contested convention.
Well, at this point, I don't think Trump can get it either.
Not if this keeps happening. Because these 11 delegates are important. Every delegate counts at this point. I mean,
right.
For crying out loud, Nebraska, where they got, 3 delegates? I mean, they're fighting over Nebraska's delegates for crying out loud, And it's one of these things where Trump has already reached out to the party establishment, and they've gone. Cruz, who's never been part of the party establishment, is now part of the party establishment, and he's fighting that label like you wouldn't believe, because we've talked about the kiss of death.
Well, it's somebody. I mean, at some point, this is I love this. These anti-establishment people that are running for a party establishment's nomination to be part of the party establishment. Hey, look at me. I hate all this and everything that you stand for, but you should pick me to carry your flag into battle because I'm the one that embodies all of your values to the nth degree. It's comical, but somebody has to do it. There has to be a nominee from each party. And boy, I just don't know. I mean, if it goes to a broker convention, I kind of don't think it's going to be either Donald Trump or Ted Cruz.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Going to be positioned best.
I don't know. There's a lot of buzz about Paul Ryan, though.
Well, All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back because talking about Paul Ryan, I think, might take the whole next segment. So we're going to be back right after the break. We're going to talk about a broker convention, Paul Ryan's secret meetings with everybody, his stealth meetings, and who's going to be the likely nominee coming out of this broker convention that looks inevitable. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back.